Welcome to another Coaster Studios park review. This time we have Elitch Gardens in Denver, Colorado. We're going to be talking all about this park. We've been here once, so we're going to be talking about the experience we had so you can learn by the end of this whether it is worth your time to visit or not. Now, the first thing worth mentioning is I went in September, so the park was actually preparing for their Halloween event, but none of the mazes were actually going on. So some of the decorations you'd see in the park were kind of Halloween themed, but I'm going to try and disregard that and really just focus on the park itself. And then one more thing worth mentioning, I was only at this park for a few hours. We got there at opening and stayed till maybe around 12 or 1. Why did we stay for so short of a time period, you may ask? Well, it is because we did all we needed to do in maybe 2 to 3 hours. This park is not that big, and one of those reasons is actually because it is in the heart of downtown Denver. You have the Broncos Stadium like right next door, and so as a result, there are not too many rides. They have a handful of roller coasters, but honestly, I didn't really like any of them. They have Mind Eraser, which is a Vekoma SLC. That is actually the most popular ride in the park, which is kind of shocking. They have a Boomerang, which is a boomerang. They have an Intamin Half Pipe, which was okay. They have a huge wooden coaster called Twister 2, and that would be a perfect candidate for the RMC treatment. I would love to see that. The way it was fine, but like, man, that'd be a great RMC. That's just waiting to happen. And then they have Sidewinder, which is an Aero shuttle coaster, and that was not open when we went. We heard that that was actually like the best ride in the park and didn't get to experience it. And then they also have a kiddie coaster, which you can't ride unless you have a kid. So we didn't do that one either. So the coaster lineup is really kind of bad. So I can see why not too many people are going to be dying to make it out to Elitch Gardens. This used to be a Six Flags park, and you can tell. I've been to enough Six Flags parks that when I was walking around Elitch Gardens, it felt like a Six Flags park. Okay, let me correct myself. It felt like a step up from a Six Flags park, but not by much. Walking around, you could still see several marks that Six Flags had left on the place. It just had that kind of atmosphere, which isn't really a good thing in my opinion. But the park did have a lot of quirks. Like the first one you'll notice, you have to enter and exit through a gift shop to get in the park. So that's kind of interesting. Also, they have a ride called Ghost Blasters, which is a shooting dark ride. It is almost an identical replica to Boo Blasters. And what's weird about it is where the ride is also a pathway through the park. So you have to walk by the ride to get to some other rides. So that's kind of interesting. And outside of roller coasters, there's a couple flat rides. Like they got a Star Flyer and a mini Intamin drop tower. I say mini, but it is actually like decently tall. It's just not huge like some of these other Intamin drop towers. And they seemed fairly popular with the public. When we went, there was not a ton of people though, and I think that was really just because of the time of year. So they were really only running one train on stuff, but some rides, like, they can physically only run one train. So obviously I'm not dissing them on that. And I thought that the ride-ups were fun. Like, they were doing a good job at, getting guests hyped up, but dispatch times varied. You were going to get some that were longer than others, some that were short, some that were not, which I feel like is common for a lot of amusement parks. And another thing to note is that this park does have bins on the ride platform, so you do not have to worry about mandatory lockers that you have to pay for, which is always nice. So in general, I thought the park was okay. Like, it was fine. I wasn't impressed by anything, actually. Nothing really jumped out to me that I was like, wow, that was great. I don't think I would use the word great when talking about Elitch Gardens. I always try to find the good in everything. Probably the thing I liked most was I like how they have the Ferris wheel as the centerpiece, and the area in front of it looks nice with all the flowers and everything. They do have a little bit of landscaping here and there, but it's not a ton. So in general, is a trip to Elitch Gardens worth it? Well, I mean, if you're looking to get some coaster credits, then I mean, yeah, it might be. If you're in the area, then yeah, sure, stop by. But is it worth driving like really out of the way to go to? I don't think so. It may be the largest park in Colorado, but is definitely not the best. I give that one to Glenwood Caverns. But that's just my thoughts on Elitch Gardens in Denver, Colorado. You can let me know if you've been here, what you think of the place, if you agree or disagree with my thoughts. Post all those in the comment section below. And of course, stay tuned for more park reviews here at Coaster Studios.